everyone, it's Rhonda here from Nelson Soapery. Today, let's get into a live video. So today we'll be talking all about markets and what we do to make a successful one. So I know our chart is a little bit different today because it is nighttime and I'm doing it not so much at 11 in the morning, but I had a market today, so I really needed to do my video a little bit different. So I know some people will start to log on soon, but even if it's nighttime or I know it's the middle of the day in some countries, that's okay because you can watch this back later. But like I said, today, this is my little intro and I always do an intro. So welcome everybody and thank you for joining me today on our live chat. As like I said, it is 8 p.m. you know, in Australia at the moment. Hi Mark, how you going? So yeah, so we'll see people start to come on soon, but like I said, it is a different time for doing it, and I know in the US it's probably like 4 or 5 in the morning, so lots of those people won't log on as per normal, but that's okay because, you know, like I said, they can watch this back a little bit later. And I'm just going to fix my screen because it's looking a bit sad, isn't it, at the moment. But like I said, so today we're going to talk all about markets, and the reason I thought we'd talk about markets is the markets are back on for us in Melbourne, which is very exciting for sure. Oh, hi Trish as well. So today I did have some gorgeous people come and visit me at my market out in Yarra Glen, which is in Melbourne, Australia. So a massive big hi to Trish and Mark, who were absolutely gorgeous and came a long way to see me. And I know they came quite a distance to see me at that market. So big kiss to you guys. You're absolutely gorgeous, and it was lovely to meet you. And I know I'm going to meet you guys at the conference as well, which will be really exciting. So for anyone that doesn't know, we also are having an Australian Soapery and Candle Conference. It's in Melbourne, Australia. It will be in March 2022. There are still some tickets today. There were extra tickets bought as well. So I do know that the tickets are getting slimmer for sure. And because it's COVID, we will definitely have to have a smaller, you know, conference. We would have liked to have 100 people, but we definitely cannot do that due to, you know, all of the, you know, everything that's crazy and going on with COVID at the moment. But I'm sure everyone won't mind. So if you just want to know anything more about it, I will put a link at the end of this video. And I think we have about $5,000 in prizes as well. So that will be very, very exciting. Oh, thank you, Trish. Thank you. That's lovely. Yeah, it's so nice to have you guys supporting me. And as I always say, I'm a mumsy from the suburbs. So, you know, I'm just an average mum. So anyone can do what I've done. I haven't done anything super special that no one else has done. I think the only thing, you know, that I've done different is, you know, look, I always say this, but, you know, I'm not a wealthy person. So I'm an average person, and I want to show people that an average person can do this. You really can. It just takes a lot of time and, honestly, a zillion bits of patience, because this isn't going to happen overnight if you want to be successful at a soap and candle business. You definitely can do it, but it just takes a long time, especially in Australia. And I think that's what we need to remember in Australia, that, you know, we don't have as many people in our country as the US and UK. So, you know, that means that we're limited to who's going to buy it. Because, of course, we can't send our products to the UK because we don't have assessments and things like that. So don't send them there, or the EU, because that is also a problem to send your products unless you are getting an assessment and it's done legally. So you really need to look into that if you're going to send overseas. So, you know, we used to do a lot more of that, but, you know, now going forward, we really have to be careful who we can send it to overseas. So, you know, unless you do an assessment and it is approved in that country. So yeah, so that's really important. But anyway, let's get into my video today. And like I said, this is going to be all about market day, because in Melbourne, it's been very excited. Let's do a bit of a dance. We are finally back to markets. It was my first market in several months today, which was extremely successful. Tens of thousands, I'm pretty sure, came through the door at Yarra Glen today. It was absolutely packed. And I will try and do a bit of a short video about it because my husband's also made me a new product. So I'll do a video that I have a bit about the market and a bit about what he's also made me as well. He made me a splitter machine while I was at the market, which is very exciting for soap. So I will do a video and pop all that in, but that won't be until next week. So anyway, let's start the video on a couple of things that I thought were important. I know I have kind of gone over markets before, but I think it's really important that we talk about successful markets because sometimes you can do a market that isn't successful. Or one thing that I've noticed lots of people do, they say, oh, you know, this market's really cheap. You know, it's only $20 to get in. Well, sometimes you have to ask yourself, well, why is it cheap? You know, it might be because they don't have enough, you know, clients, or people don't know about that market. The markets I do are very expensive to do the markets. They're like $140 just to get in for the day of the market, which is a lot of money. But to be really honest, you're going to take a lot of money. So for me, you know, at like a little cheapy market, I might only take a couple $100. But where I do a lot for Craft Market Australia, and they have several markets across the Bay and Melbourne in particular. And honestly, I take anything from $600 to $1,000 at those markets, you know, very big days. So today it was a very big day, close to $1,000 in takings. And, you know, and that's just for me. And I just have a small, you know, a small booth. I don't have a massive big double one or anything like that. So yeah, so that's why I thought I will talk a little bit about that and how you get into it, because Craft Market Australia, the one that I do, you can't just, you know, pay your money and get in. Sometimes there is a big waiting list and sometimes you will be rejected. So, you know, to get in, but don't take that to heart. Just keep trying. You know, you can keep trying to get into them. So if anyone wants to know about Craft Market Australia, and I'm not sponsored by them or anything, it's just craftmarketaustralia.com.au. So just Google them and look them up. And what you have to do is you have to basically apply for it, and then you have to do casual, you start off doing like a casual day. So, and then it will continue from that. But yeah, so it is quite hard to get into them, especially for soap and candle makers. But honestly, very, very well worth the effort. And the ones that I do, one is called Yarra Glen in Victoria. Another one's Mornington, Victoria, which is on the Bay. And another one I do is Red Hill. Red Hill is the biggest one in Victoria, and well worth the money. So now let's get started about a few things. So I've got my list. So of course I'm going to look down, and if anyone asks questions, I will of course answer your questions. And if you're watching this back at a playback later on, just ask your questions and I will try my best to always give you an answer as well. So let me just read a couple of things in case I've actually forgotten about it as well. Oh, so now this is one thing I wanted to talk about at markets, because I have seen other people not do this. When you have a market, it's really important to put a ticket price on every single thing that you're selling. So I see some people don't do that. And honestly, a lot of people will go up to a booth, they don't see a price, they're a bit embarrassed, so they walk away. They just won't even ask. So it's really important to make sure there's a price. And one thing that I like to do is, for instance, my candles behind me, I might say $38, for instance, for one candle, or buy two for $60. And that boosts your, you know, selling power, because then people go, oh, well, actually, I'll save a couple dollars, I'll get two. But they would never have bought two before. So that's really important, to give them a bit of a deal. Or, you know, it might be a buy one, get one free if there's something you're trying to sell. And one thing I've got to tell everybody, don't throw out your bath bombs or your soap if it's a bit of a disaster. You know, I had some bath bombs that I'd made and it started thundering. I shouldn't have done it. Anyway, they cracked and whatever. And I thought, you know what? They're still good bath bombs. It's just they're not as beautiful. So I put them in a container, and they're usually about $9, and I sold them for $5. I said, you know, they're cracked, so that's why they're on sale. And I sold heaps of them today. So, you know, a lot of people would have said, oh, no, it's a disaster, throw them in the bin or whatever. But, you know, I probably sold $50 worth of cracked bath bombs. There's nothing wrong with them. Like I said, they just had a crack on them. So don't just throw them out. You can sell them. So, yeah, definitely try that. And the market is a great place to do that as well. Oh, you can't believe I'm still going, Superwoman. Yeah. Yeah, no, I've been up since, I think, 4:30 in the morning because when I do the market, because I live quite a distance out, like I said, I'm more regional, which is kind of like country Victoria. So it takes me nearly 2 hours to get to the market. So I've got to be up at 4:30 and do all that. And then, of course, my darling dad had to go into hospital for a treatment. He's in there 4 or 5 days at the moment. So we had to get everything organised with Dad last night. And I had my little grandbabies come to see me because we weren't allowed to see family before because of our rules with COVID. So my little grandbaby Xavier came and he was very excited to see Grandma. And then Grandma, which is me, was very excited to see him. So yeah, so I had a big night with the kids and then, of course, at the market today. But I can't forget my gorgeous friends out here on YouTube. So, and my Sunday chat is something I'm really committed to. So I definitely will do this every Sunday. So don't worry, I'll definitely promise to do that one. Even though after this, honestly, let's be honest, I'm going to have a sleep. I've had a little bit of an old nana nap for an hour. But, yeah, I'll go and have a little rest after. But yeah, like I said, so do your discount at the market and that will draw more people in. They will see the discount sign as well and come in. I mean, you don't have to discount everything. To me, I only ever discount 1 or 2 things that, you know, are more things you want to get rid of if you've got a lot. And as you can see, I have a lot of candles behind me. These will sell within the next 2 markets. I have another one as well. So anyone watching, I will be at Yarra Glen again next Sunday. So my chat next Sunday will be 8 p.m. again. So we will definitely do the Sunday chat then. There will be quite a few Sundays in between that I don't do markets. So then we will go back to the 11 a.m. Unless everyone thinks maybe you prefer to do like a Saturday. I mean, I could do a Saturday as well at 11 a.m. if that suits. But I know in the US, when we say 11 a.m. on Saturday, that really means for them in the US, that is Friday. So I thought, well, you know, Friday might not work. We'll see anyway. But anyway, you guys can let me know whether you think Saturday is better than a late Sunday. So, and now let's get into talking about the market. So one thing too is make sure that your stall is really neat. So when I say neat, like, you know, I see people do like big buckets of things and then what happens is they might have like a clear bucket here, a purple bucket here, you know, a brown shelf here, a white shelf there. It doesn't look cohesive. You know, if you go into a store, it all looks very similar and absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, Sunday, 11 a.m. rocks. I know, Mark, it is the best time for Sunday. I wish I could do Sundays, but when I'm doing the market, I definitely cannot do, obviously, you know, I can't do the talk as well because the internet wouldn't even work. Some of these markets it would actually cut out. But yeah, but we will definitely go back to doing my Sundays after all the markets and things like that are finished. But it is a great time at Sunday, I know, because it's perfect for the US and it's also perfect for us down under in Australia. So yeah, so make sure, like I said, make sure that your market is really consistent and the design is kind of flawless. Just make it neat. And you know, the one thing is you kind of got to find that balance of not too much and not too under as well. Oh, you missed me this morning, Carol. Oh, thank you. What a love you are. I know. I actually did miss it. I said that to my daughter. I said, oh, if only I could get someone to watch my market stall for 1 hour. Why? You know, or I should put a sign up. Sorry, YouTube's on. Close down. Come back in an hour at the market. But today was so busy. There's no way I could stop. And honestly, at the markets, because a lot of people know me, and you know, because I'm on YouTube as well, they'll come up and say, hi, I've seen you on YouTube, especially kids. I get lots and lots of kids that come up and they often ask me for a little autograph, which is really, really sweet, isn't it? And I usually give them a bit of a present. So yeah, I know. It's so funny, Carol. They think I'm some famous person, you know, which my husband thinks it's funny. I tell him, you know, bow to the master, you know, because now that I'm YouTube famous, you know, not really, but, you know, I just tell him that to stir him up. So, yeah, no, it is a bit funny as well. So, and so, like I said, the consistency of design is really important. Like, honestly, it is. And I've seen other people in a similar industry to me where people haven't gone to their booth. And I know it is because of the design. It just doesn't look attractive to enter. So that is really, really important. Yeah, Carol, it is awesome. Yeah, you're right. It's so funny, like, yeah, I've got to laugh because as everyone knows, I never thought this would be the way it is. Oh, you forgot to get my flyer, Mark. Yeah, no. So, I can send it out next time to you or something. But, yeah, I always do flyers. I give them away or business cards. I've actually sold out of a lot of business cards because of all the orders online. But, yeah, so, like I said, these are the things. And I did say this last week. Even if you're selling, say, a diffuser and your market will only allow diffusers because there's other people doing soap, give them a business card because they'll go back to your site and buy your soap. So, that's the thing. You need to find ways of attracting people to go to your website because, honestly, website is key. Like, I tell this all the time. My daughter has a really successful earring business and she's on Etsy and she says a lot on there. But the one thing is I say to her, she wants people to get that business card and go back to her site. That way she doesn't pay the fees for Etsy. And, her business will thrive a bit more, which has been happening. So even though they find her on there, she puts in a business card with the package and then they'll go directly to her website, which is good. And you can give them a discount to buy from your website. So then they, to try and attract them to go to that as well. And then, of course, on her website, she offers Afterpay and all these sort of things. So it's definitely worth it. I've never put Afterpay on mine. I've never really been asked for it, to be honest. I don't know whether I'll do it. I just don't think I will. I don't want to have somebody buy something that I feel they can't afford either, because then I don't want somebody to have credit and get in that situation. It would make me feel really terrible. So that's why I'm not doing Afterpay. And at the market as well, you really need to talk to customers. If you're a shy person or not confident, try things to get your confidence there. Like, even when you're shopping in Coles or, like your department store, go in and talk to people, like when you're buying something, say, hi, how you going? And just start that conversation to try and get your confidence up, because a lot of people that come to visit me have a chat with me as well, and they love it, and this is the thing too that we all forget. There's people that are really lonely, that actually don't have a lot of people in their life, and they love having a chat with somebody that they feel they can trust. Even if you're just a person at the shop, you might just make somebody's day. So you really do need to learn to have that communication and be able to talk to people as well. Because, people, they're buying your product, but they're also buying a bit of you because they like you, they trust you, they want to buy from you. And that is definitely something that I've really honestly noticed quite a lot. So, so that is really important as well. And have a full store as well. Oh, thanks, Mark. Yeah, it is. It is good advice, because these are the things that I did notice. And I always say this, I was never a super confident person as a child. I really wasn't. And I had to teach myself these skills, especially going to, studying design. You really do learn that. Oh, thank you, Carol. Yeah, like a lot of people say this to me, that they kind of feel that friend vibe. And the thing is, you can't fake it either. I mean, you've got to be real. I couldn't fake to be nice for months on end. I mean, you can't. People will find out who you are in the end. So just try and be yourself. But obviously, I feel like in life, we have to always better who we are. And look, there's things that I've done that aren't perfect either, but then you just kind of better it. And look, I've always said this is my absolute motto. I say at the end of my life, I don't need riches and everything. I just want people to say, you know what, she was really nice. I liked her. She was a nice person. And honestly, that's all I want at the end. And I think those kind of things shine through as, what you're doing in your business. And that's why I have actually done a video where I talk about, and I show you through my house, my living room, because I do believe that yourself, your character, who you are, shines through on any business you do, regardless of what it is, because a part of having a business is selling yourself, selling, what you've produced, what you've made, and, the effort you put in. So those things are really, important as well. And sorry, I'm just reading my list as well because, as you can see, I'm a little tired today. So I had to kind of look over my list. And this is the thing too. Let people look at your site. Don't be precious. Look, sometimes, we've all had the kid that comes to the stall and, they drop your product and you think, oh no, they're going to break it. But you know what? You can't go and say to another child, put it down. Number one, it's rude. And number two, I'm a mum. If someone said that to my child, I would leave and never return. As most mums say, come on, darling, put that down. And, they do tell their child, but I really do feel as a stallholder, we don't have that right to say that to another person's child. So that's something as well. You have to really try not to say things and really put yourself in the parent's shoe. Like, it's embarrassing as a parent when your child's touching everything, but that's a part of being a kid. And I'm not precious about it. If they break it, they break it. It will go in the sale bucket. What are they going to break? 1 or 2 bath bombs, So, I'm never precious about it. And, I just think, look, they're kids. And every now and then, if I have bath bombs that haven't sold or something little that's, sometimes bath bombs can go a little dusty after time. And I often say, oh, here, honey, just take this and I'll just give it to the kids. I just give them a freebie in their thing or just add something extra. And I really think that's just a nice thing to do. And it really shows, that you're trying to help and that you're not just all about taking the money. You're also about community, about creating the product and the trust and everything that comes into being a good business owner. Any good business owner or seller in retail will tell you that it's all about the trust as well and the relationship. So do kind of try and think of that as well. And this is one thing I was going to say. When people come into my store, I always say, hi, how you going? Welcome in. And I say to them straight away, look, I'm not precious. Please feel free to pick it up, smell it, tell me your thoughts. Even if they don't buy anything, I still have a conversation with them and make them feel welcome in my store. And I make them feel that it's not a bad thing not to buy something. And, often they go, oh, okay. And they talk to you and you can see people are uncomfortable. And that's when I say, oh, I hope you have a lovely day. So when they leave, make sure you also say to them, oh, have a great day. Thanks for stopping past. Because I've had people come back several markets later that say, oh, you were so nice and I didn't feel pressured. So I really think that is super important as well, to make people feel that they're welcome to come in. They don't have to buy something. Of course you want people to buy, that's why you're there. But, at the same time, don't feel like, oh, no, they didn't buy anything. Why not? Because they might not have any money that day. That might just be they've gone out just for a stroll around the market, So, so anyway, like I said, I always try and, don't make people feel pressured as well, because I do think that's super important. And what was I going to say? Oh, you don't forget your signs, your brochures, and also, this is one thing that is so important. When I've done so many markets, people have come along with this table. It's a trestle table most people use, and no tablecloth. And I look at it and go, really? It looks terrible. If you don't have a tablecloth, even a cheap sheet, something, you have to cover it, because it's all about eye appeal. Eye appeal is buy appeal. It's true. So, don't forget your tablecloth, even if it's the cheapest plain black one. And I only have a cheap plain black one. It's nothing exciting. Like, honestly, it's not. So it's really important to do that as well. And also, a lot of people have signs. I never buy the sign because there's no way I'm paying $200 for a sign at a market. So I actually got you can get those bunting flags, and then I've got a Cricut machine, and I just did an iron-on transfer. So like my Nelson Sopery's in letters across the bunting, so people can still see who I am. And it's a market. You don't have to have a big fancy smancy sign, but just put something that's you. My daughter actually painted hers. And hers looks quite groovy actually, but she painted it. So so you can always do something like that, just because if people are looking for your business and you're on social media and they can't see it, they don't know it's you, because they're not going to get close to the product. They might just come past and try and see who you are. So make sure you're trying to do that. And if you're wondering how to set up a market store, I do have a really good video early on that shows that as well. Oh, yeah, the batteries for your phone. Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky, to be honest, with my phone because it really doesn't conk out. I mean, this phone's been going all day since 4:30 this morning. It's still quite high up. And you're right, Mark. Don't forget, your Square Reader, your electronic, because now 50% of payments usually I take are on the machine and 50% in cash. Sometimes it'll be all cash, sometimes all reader. I've had times it's been like 95% on the Square Reader, which is, just an FPOS machine, really. And they're so cheap. They're like $50 or $59 for one of your Square Readers, and you'll have the money within 3 to 5 days in your bank. So it's quite fast, really. And, some people don't carry cash. So if you don't have the machine, you've lost the sale. And the minute I say to people, I've got FPOS, they go, oh, great, I'll buy more things. And then they'll put more things in. So it is definitely a booster in sales, 100%, because I even had a lady today that, was going to buy a $20 candle. And then she said to me, oh, no, you got FPOS. Oh, don't worry, I'll do my Christmas shopping. And she spent $100. So, she wouldn't have done that because she didn't have the cash. So if you don't have the machine, they're not going to buy it. And if you're worried about the fees, and I say this all the time, make sure your product has, that giveaway for fees as well. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Paula. You're right. People are really grateful that you've got the FPOS machine. So and this is what I say all the time. Don't make your products too cheap. You need wiggle room, and wiggle room means just that little extra room so that, it will cover your fees. It might cover market costs. It might cover, your Shopify site, your Etsy fees, whatever it's going to be. You need to actually have all of these, a little bit of wiggle room to, cover these prices. The same as, you're sending a product. Tissue paper costs money. Boxes cost money. Postages cost money. There's so many things. So you can't say, oh, well, this product is $5. I'm going to sell it for $8. I'm only, I might sell more and I'm only going to make $3 because that money may not be enough to cover you for that wiggle room. Or, the sales. So like, if you say buy 2 and you give them, 10% off or whatever, you need the wiggle room to be able to do that. So that's what I always say. Don't market your products cheap. It's really a really bad downhill slope. It really is. And the same as me at the moment, I actually have these tins that I want to get rid of. So like I used to have these little tiny silver tins, and I sold most of them at the market today, but I wanted to go to all white tins. So, at the moment I'm like, well, one of them, for instance, is $8, or buy 2 for $10 because it gets rid of them faster. Usually I would not sell them for that price, but I am still making money, and, I'm not at any loss at all for selling them in that discount. But if I didn't leave that wiggle room, I definitely could not sell them like that. So that's what I'm saying. Leave that wiggle room as well and try and buy wholesale, because that's the only way you're going to make money. And, to get to a level where you can do wholesale, where you can buy and you have good cash flow, you really need, like I said, that wiggle room and that extra money to be able to do it, because we all start buying small little bags. You might buy a kilo bag, but then, I started buying, citric acid at the start in half a kilo bag, but now I buy it in 25 kilos. So, but I couldn't have that if I didn't have the cash flow. So that's what I mean. You do need that cash flow, and you definitely do need things to keep moving so that you can get a really good cash flow and get your business to the next level. Because there's sort of steps where you start small, then you go a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger, and then wholesale, and then, so on. You might just keep growing. But without that extra money, you can't do it. And as I always say, I don't have a loan. We're not wealthy people, my husband and myself. We just have a little home in the suburbs. So, you just need to do these little steps so that you can better your own lifestyle as well. Because let's be honest, we're all in business to create a better lifestyle for ourselves, In Australia in particular, for people that are watching from other countries, it's really hard. Our taxes are some of the highest in the world. We pay a lot on tax. And, the average home in Australia, I think it's like $800,000 for the average home in Australia, which is really expensive, and even where I am, and I'm a long way out, the average home here is 500, 600,000 for a tiny little 3-bedroom small home. So, to get a home in Australia, we all need to think of ways that we can do it. And that's why small business is a huge, a huge thing. A lot of people are employed by themselves in Australia in small business, so they can get across the line as well. Another thing is making sure you're looking at your target market. I know I talk about this a lot, but, you can sell your products to anyone, but you still need to zone it for a target market at the start. And then, of course, you're going to have other people buy it. Oh, and this is one thing I was just thinking of then. What I actually did, so I have my bath bombs that, I have some donuts and some in circles. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to put 10 in a bath bomb box and see how they sell. And I thought, who's going to pay $60, $70, $80 for them? But you'd be amazed. I only did one box, sold straight away. So, and this is the thing, my husband said to me once, just because we maybe couldn't afford it, you kind of got to think outside the box and think, well, maybe someone else can afford it and they want to pay that, and they want to buy that many bath bombs. And this lady did. She said to me, if you had 3 boxes, I would have bought them. So, that's the thing, what I always say, try not to think of what you can afford, but maybe what someone else can afford or what they want to pay. So you just can't think of what you like. Same as scents. If you hate, chocolates or vanillas or cake sort of scents, don't think of you. Think of the client, because there's lots of scents. I really can't stand sandalwood, patchouli. I don't like them, but honestly, they're some of my biggest sellers. So, you kind of got to think outside what you like and just think, well, is someone going to like it? Do you think it's popular? And I guarantee you they are. Lemongrass is always popular for anyone wondering about scents. So lemongrass, patchouli, sandalwood, fairy floss, of course, watermelon, raspberry, they're all popular scents. And salted caramel in a candle flies off the shelf. I'm sold out again of salted caramel. So this week, because I sold out of most candles that I took, especially the big ones, like I've got the big ones behind me, but that's it. Usually I have massive amounts in boxes as well, but they're all sold. So I'll definitely need to get going with them. So never think, oh, well, that's too much, because you'll be amazed. People want to buy them. So, and, we're getting near Christmas time. So now what was I going to talk about? Oh, and that's one thing I was going to talk about as well today. How did I define my target market? Now, my target market, when I first started, I thought I'm going to sell to everyone. And I said to my daughter once, my daughter Emily, I said, well, I'm going to sell to everyone, so I don't need a target market. And she said, Mum, come on. And she's in her 20s. And I was sort of just marketing it, honestly. What I did at the start, I had colourful labels and I thought they looked really good. And she said, look, Mum, young people aren't going to buy that. And then I started to realise that younger people were my target market, because they were coming in to buy it. And when I say younger, I'd say my target market's like 17 to 30 is my main one. But I do have people of all ages, but that is the main one that buy. Yeah, so defining your market is, at the start, you sort of might say, okay, I think I'm going to sell to this. This is where I'm aiming my product. And when we say finding the market, it has to do with how your product looks, because can you imagine if I had a hot pink candle jar? Most young people don't want it. They want white. They want it simplex, minimalistic. So you've got to keep on what is on trend. And if you can see behind me, the coloured ones with the pink lids, the younger girls don't buy them. They buy all the white ones from me. They buy the white diffusers. They buy the white candles, even soaps. They generally want like a white one with a colour splash in them. So that's what I'm going to say. And that's how I've defined my market. I started selling to different groups, and then as you go along, you start to realize who likes your product, and then you go, okay, what do they want? How am I going to work my product to suit that market? And then you might, you change it, because at the stage at the start I actually had a different label, and then I said no, that's not working, I need to make a really simple label. And then honestly, as I went along, it definitely worked better and better, and all the time I'm changing. So yeah, so don't think don't think, oh well, it's not, this label's fine, everyone's going to buy it, because they're not. They're just not. And I'll show you, hold on, I've got a soap here. So like this is kind of my normal soap. This is a dodgy one, which I'll show you something in a minute, which is a problem with this one. But you can see it's white with just a bit of a splash. Now I'm going to show this close. Can you see that little chalky bit in here? This is what means lie heavy in a soap. And what's actually happened with this, it hasn't reached, it's reached its process, its chemical process. But what's actually happened is I didn't mix it enough to be a trace. And so then the lye has just filtered down in certain parts of it and made it chalky like this. So this is no good to use. And I've kept this to show you. So this whole bar had to be thrown in the bin, all of it. You cannot rebatch this. I would not rebatch it. Some people might. My advice is no, do not do it. Because this is like your ZAP test. So your pH level will not be good on this at all. And like I said, it's got, this chalky bit is literally lye in it. So you cannot use this. It's a bit dangerous to use. Some people might go, we'll just chop that bit off for samples, but I wouldn't. I'd just, be safe and throw it out. But anyway, I thought I was going to show you that. But I did, my video is coming out next week. I talk about this a tiny bit in it. But we all, and this is the thing, you make products and sometimes you're like, oh, bugger, that didn't work. And that's also why you need wiggle room, because sometimes things happen and you need to be able to do it. Whereas I'll show you my next soap. This is my other one, and you can see there is no issue. So there's no, there's no crusty bit. It's smooth and no issue at all. Sometimes, the crusty bit might not be that lye heavy, but generally that's what it is. Or, this is another bar here. So you can see like there's nothing in it. It's just, a really good bar. So anyway, I thought that was really important. And behind me, I'm going to see if I can find my little white jar to show you how I simplified, my things. So this is one that I've done. So these are my new jars going forward. And you can see they're just white. They're really, really simple as well. But when they open it inside, it is pink. And that's fine because they might like the color. But it's really neat on this side as well. Yeah, that's right, Mark. You do need to get, you want to get feedback. So I always say to people, if there's something you don't like, please tell me, because that's the only way I'm going to know. And sometimes I have people say, look, I really liked it, but the scent wasn't as strong as I wanted. And then I usually will talk to them and say, I can't do any more. That's a legal requirement. Or, okay, maybe that fragrance wasn't a strong fragrance to use, so that may be scratched in the future. And, you'll find things that are really things that people love. Like I was saying to Mark and Trish today, who came to the market to visit me, my most popular scent I do is Blooming Rose, and it's my own scent, which is a mix of several roses and gardenia. And I don't give out the actual blend of that because that's my only special one that I don't give away. And that, honestly, whether I do it in bath bombs, soap, candles, it sells straight away. It sold within probably 40 minutes of the market opening this morning. And all day I had people saying, I've come for Blooming Rose. And I said, it's gone. I'm sorry. So, yeah, so that's the thing as well. Oh, hi, Eve. How you going, love? Welcome. I know we're doing at 8 o'clock at night today because I have markets, and next Sunday will have to be the same because of the market. And I'm going to see, so I'm going to show you a couple of these ones because I think maybe this might help as well because we're talking about target market. Same thing, you can see this is my label on top. I printed these labels myself with a cheap $30 printer. So you do not need something special, but then on the inside it's just plain as well. Yeah, and I've just seen someone's talking about the botanicals, and you're right, you cannot use a lot of botanicals. And the reason, if you can have a look what I've done, there is no botanicals inside this. This is sitting on top so they can pick that straight out. And that's why this one's done like that. It's just for look, and this one does come with a flyer. So ones that I do like that, they're on the top and they can just pull it straight out. So yeah, that is really important. And if you can see that, there's like literally 5 little buds. So if I was to pull this out, if you can see it just pulls straight out. So not hard at all. And I'll show you up close so you can kind of see. I've just pulled that out, if you can see that little dot. So yeah, so if ever you're going to put a botanical for look, just sit it on the top so it can come straight out. Yeah, no, that's fine, Carrie. And that's the thing that I say to people. If you want the look, you can. The same as you see people, you know, and they fill a candle with all the rocks. You know, in Australia, you can't actually do that because those rocks can explode with the heat. So it's fine if you put it in, but you need to sit it on top so they can pull it out. It's the same as, you know, getting a bath bomb with a toy. You need to also have instructions on it, you know, to say, you know, because it is a choking hazard, toys. So I don't put toys in bath bombs for that reason. I thought about it, and I actually did even buy some toys, but I've never used it because I think, no, some insurance won't cover it. It's just really messy, you know. And this is another one of mine. So this is my Paradise one. So you can see it's just like some sprinkles on top, but it's white and really neat and clean, but then it has the color when they open it up. So yeah, so I think that is really important. And then some of them are plain. They're just white, you know, with like a little candy in the top, which that's my licorice one. So I try and keep them like this so that they're just really neat and you know, really easy as well. And I only use biodegradable glitter because biodegradable glitter doesn't spark. And if you use normal glitter, sometimes it can give a bit of a spark in it. So yeah, thanks, Eve. They are cute, aren't they? I'm really loving these new ones. And what I do as well, my labels are vinyl. So if people don't like the label, they can just pull it off rather than having the whole thing sticks and disaster, you know. Sometimes I don't use them because they're more expensive, but generally that's what I do. And if this was for wholesale, I would put this on the top because it doesn't have anything else on it. And then I'll just pull this off. So I wouldn't have that on there. So it would just be plain. And, of course, you know, you've got to have your legals on the bottom, which is just about candles. And I'll see if I can show you this other one. So this is basically my original one. This is what they look like. So, you know, it's just a tin like that. And then my label all around the outside. And number one, putting a label right around costs more money. So that's why I changed it as well. And I just really thought that, yes, I mean, that looks pretty. But then I thought this just looked so much nicer. So, you know, it's just my thought. But, yeah, I really thought the white one was just so much more pretty as well. And I sell one that's called Sweet Baby that lots of people love. And this is honestly my favorite one. I mean, look how darling that looks. It's so, so cute with the biodegradable sparkle and just in white. And it's really just a gorgeous one as well. But, yeah, so and that's what I mean. You learn all the time. You change all the time. You might start with one jar and then you kind of get better as you go along. Yeah, thanks, love. It does look lovely, doesn't it? I mean, I love it. I really do love these white ones. And you wouldn't believe it. I came home today and I thought, you know what? I had a good day at the market, sold a bit. I'll go and do a bulk order of them. They're sold out. I thought, oh, of course they are, you know. So I'm going to just have to buy them in lots of 30, which is a bit more expensive. But I do have a few clients that really want them. So, and these will be a part of my wholesale products going forward. So that's the thing too. If you're going to sell this, say, for $10, and this one would be about $10 in grams. I think it's about 90 grams of product in it as well. So, you know, you have to be able to halve your products, you know, to sell it wholesale. But you might not sell everything wholesale as well. And, and this is one thing I'll tell you. A lot of people have been messaging me saying, when I put the label on, does the product weight mean the weight of the tin and the product or just the product? And what it means is only the product. So it's only the wax and that's in here. It doesn't mean the tin. So you basically, when you're going to make a candle, what I do is I put this on the scale. I tear the scale out, which means it will delete all of the tin measurements and weights. And then once you pour your wax in, it's only going to measure the wax that's in it. So that's super important. So remember, same as lip balms, it's only the inner lip balm. It is not the weight of the outside of the lip balm, but just the product of the balm inside it. if that makes sense. So it's not the tin or anything like that. It's the product in it. And that's really important because in Australia, it's very strict that you must adhere to that. It has to be the usage of the product, like I said, and not the tin and not the container or anything like that. So anyway, I hopefully today has been really helpful to give you just a few little tips on, the market and what we can do. And I'm hoping next week to be able to do one to show you how to kind of like pack a wholesale order, because I've had a few people asking, when you do massive bulk on products, how do you actually pack it? So maybe we can talk about that and some different ways to pack it, because also even if you're just selling wholesale, you still want to market that. You want them to open it and it looks really nice and then they love it as well. So maybe that will be something. If any of you have any other ideas of something you'd like me to talk about on the Sunday, make sure that, you let me know what you'd love to talk about. And of course, that's something that we can always look at, because I'm always looking at new ideas and things that you might want to get advice on, or, just things that you might want me to talk about as well. So hopefully those kind of things can help as well. Oh, thank you, Mark. Yeah, and Trish, thank you. Yeah, I am going to you can see my poor eyes are so tired. And now that my dad's in hospital for 5 days for his newest treatment, I can have a bit of a break while Dad's in there, because with COVID, we can't go back in the hospital to see him as well. Oh, thank you, love. Thank you. Yeah, no, I really do hope that me sharing my knowledge does help. I really hope it does, because that is my goal, to help. But if any of you, like I said, want to know about the conference, I will put a link in the, I'll put a comment in the bottom with the link in it, and then just go over there. Today is the last day that you can actually get 20% off the tickets for the conference, because all the tickets after that will not be on sale. They'll just be normal price up until the day. I just literally did it for October. And of course, today being the last day in October for Australia. So yeah. All right. Bye, everybody. Bye, Carol. Thanks for listening, love. And I will see you on the next video. Bye for now.